Hello, everybody, and welcome to the First Four or More. This is the one where we talk about shows. My name is HSR.
I am your lady friend Bonnie.
What's up, it's Syd.
And we are going to just do the little bit of quick housekeeping here.
The huge.
Yeah, grind to 1,000 subscribers contest. That means that if you subscribe to the channel, you hit that like button, and you proceed to leave a comment about either the show or about our review or something to engage the audience in some kind of way. You enter into our raffle where first place will get $100 of Amazon money of the US dollar equivalency. Plus, you get to request a review for an album or a movie or something, and you get to pick who does it. Second place gets $50 plus the review. Third place gets $25 plus the review.
But wait, there's more.
If we hit that shit before February 20th, we will give out 2 more $25 to people. That means
5 prizes.
3 to 5 people might win some shit. And there's more.
And we're already into February, guys, so
That's all I'm saying. But we are like in the high end of 700, so it's still doable. We believe in you. You are the people who are awesome. But if you go to other videos and you like and you comment, it also gives you extra raffle entries. You'll see in the video request list. I've gone through a whole bunch of comments and put that together. I'm making a big old comment file. We're going to use a random number generator and pick some people over YouTube Live that y'all know it's not some fake shit.
Not some fake shit.
Yeah. And then, all right. So that's about that. And we should talk about this show. But before we do, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Yep,
Lots of spoilers.
they're gonna happen.
We just watched episode 4 right now. It was
We
good.
did not.
Oh.
But that's as far as we've gone as episode 4.
Yep.
So anything we say that you, from people who've seen Beyond, have seen Beyond,
I'll kill
understand
you.
we have not. This is the episode 4 perspective. And on that note, if you check the corner, you can click to like episode 1. And if you wait over here, fuck it. This is just a playlist where you can go through and pick whatever episode you want.
Now, hang on. Thing is, after this, since the show is called First 4 or More, we don't know if we're gonna go or more. You got to tell us if you want us to go or more, or go to another show for the first 4.
Exactly, and that's really the whole point: is how you feel and should you keep watching and all that shit. So maybe in the future they're like, "Fuck that, I'm skipping to the 4th episode." That's cool.
You do you, man.
So do you want to talk about today's show? Is everyone excited? How you feeling, Bonnie?
Very excited.
Okay, so.
What? What am I? What am I over here?
Sid,
you're still here, aren't you?
All right, so
I'll leave.
they're like burning clothes. I mean Alyssa and James, and Alyssa takes off her bloody shirt, and then throws it into the fire, and then buttons up some manly shirt, and James is like, it's a bit fucked up wearing his clothes, and then Alyssa retorts, as she does, with, I think the fucked up part was murdering him.
Which
the end of the fucking world pops up. And that is basically the start of this one. And already, like, I have to say, of all the episodes, first, I'm already engaged in the story.
Yeah.
I want a hell of a way to start. Like, I like this part where, like, you know that's going to be, like, the middle of the episode somewhere, and we're going to get back to this point, but still go on. And I really do dig that, like, kind of panel-esque feel of just, like, a little, like, this is what's going to happen, but you know where it left off, and then it gives you, like, this whole thing to, like, you know, kind of guess what's going to what happened, how do we get here? Anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yep. And then it says, like, 6 hours, like, earlier.
And then we cut back to, like, the post-murder, and they're just standing there, and then James just vomits. And
Which goes to show that he's not such, like, a...
he's not a real
He's not a murderer like he thinks he is.
I think the show's journey ultimately is him becoming more of a human.
Yeah.
Becoming more of a regular person.
It's like the more he learns to, like, open up and love this girl and, like, let someone into his life that he cares about, it's like the more he's, like, a normal person and has feelings.
I'm still a little questionable about her journey, and I'm gonna comment on that more at the end of this episode.
Awesome.
Okay. I have some thought.
All right. So James asks if they should go to the police, and then she's like, we broke in. He's like, it's self-defense. And keep in mind, he's aware of these pictures and these videos at this time, and she is not.
Right.
And he thinks she's weirdly calm, and she's thinking, fuck.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, this is how it plays out a bit in the beginning. They're back and forth like that. They struggle to, like, lift the body. James has another amazing classic James moment. It's like, dead people are heavier than they are alive. And she's like, you fucking tool. That's good to know. And just that moment, I have made many dumb comments in my life and have been the recipient of the that's
But, like,
good
he obviously
to know.
knows, like, weird information, too. Like, if this is what he knows.
Yeah.
You know?
But, like, this is also his version of freaking the fuck out, right?
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
he's just a super, not necessarily calm, but, like, soft-spoken person.
Yeah.
He doesn't really interact with people. This is the first person his age he's really been friends with. Like,
yeah, I think
friends with.
And I just thought it was a funny scene. Because it's... Okay, you know, like, how I've mentioned in past episodes of this show, our show, that, like, they're, like, almost regular tropes, but throw it into the most unusual circumstances to give them a fresh perspective. So this is dense boy, annoyed girl, but with totally circumstances that put such a spin on it.
Yeah,
anyway,
very
right?
unique.
Anyway, that's what makes the show amazing in a nutshell. And this is like...
At this point, they start cleaning up, like...
That's right.
You know, they start cleaning up themselves and, like, the mess that they've made. And, like, they want to, like, make sure that there's no trace of them left in the house.
And they were in need of some bleach. What'd you think of that?
Yeah.
And then...
And, like, you know, all of, like, the decisions are being made off of, like, what she knows off of TV.
And I really like how James is like, Alyssa seems to know what she's doing. I'm gonna follow her.
Yeah.
Where it's like he's the one who's been planning to kill someone, right? But he's following the girl he's been planning to kill. Yeah. When he was randomly forced to kill someone else.
Yep.
And then he's like, and Alyssa said we should put on music and it would make it better, and it did. And I was like, aw. And then
he puts the knife down into the pool filter. Yeah. Like, who's not gonna find that? Come on.
And then they wipe their prints off, like, literally everything. And they do mostly everything. Then she hears a clunk because Alyssa's downstairs, and she goes upstairs, and James is kind of just, like, staring at the body. And he's thinking, it wasn't how I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Not at all. She's like, what are you doing? And thinking, what the fuck is he doing?
Like, his fantasy didn't fulfill, like, reality.
So for all of you aspiring sociopaths out there,
it's not worth it.
It's just it's not a good end goal for you.
It's not what you expect.
No.
And then she's like, what have you done? James is like, he was going to hurt you. And then you can tell she doesn't believe him because, again, she doesn't have the full context.
Yeah.
So he goes and gets the videos and photos, and she realizes what would have happened otherwise. And you can kind of, like, see her face, like, he has a point, this fucking asshole. Like, at first it went from this guy's psychotic and killed him to, oh, shit, he had a reason for it. But still, whatever.
Well, I think also, too, like, she realizes he wasn't a good guy. If he had just slapped her and, like, was about to, pouncing on her, basically, and tying her down.
How could James have known? Why did he have a knife? You can see her... She's thinking back to these details.
Of course.
So getting these pictures kind of for a second makes James seem a little nobler in her mind, like a little like there's a bit of a reason for it at least. And she's like, look, just put these around him and let's get out of here. Keep it together. And then she's like, keep it together. Just keep it together in her head.
Yep.
And then, but the wallet of the other guy was left behind. And as they're leaving, and I didn't even catch this the first time.
We're talking about his wallet was left under the bed.
And Topher is the guy that tried to bang Alyssa in the last episode. And we learned much later on that we'd really mess up in that moment. And I didn't catch it the first time when it flashes to the wallet and everything. But
and he puts all the pictures and the video camera all around, like, the dead guy, like, you know, and, you know, everyone has, like...
Which, again, I know I keep calling back to Dexter, but it was the photos, right? The kind of ritualistic, like killing that happens in Dexter, right? He's always got the photos of the victims.
Yeah.
But it's just really cliche serial killer stuff. Like it's like you couldn't make a good show about a serial killer involving in any way and end up not having this appear in a show with the length.
But there aren't that many shows or films where the serial killer is the protagonist, and you don't really see their methods the same way.
No, but like
like you don't see it in Seven. You don't see it in like what's that other movie that I can't remember the name of.
But you do. But when you do see, no. But when you do see it as like the victim, when you do see it as the serial killer's the bad person, they often will have these types of weird.
But I'm saying this specific one with the photos is very. I felt like it was kind of a callback.
Okay.
I mean, I'm certain whoever wrote this has seen Dexter.
Awesome. Next.
Okay. which is, in all things considered, with what will happen to these pictures, very stupid thing for these people to do.
Yeah.
Then Alyssa reflects on the significant moments that have transpired over the show, the beginnings, the endings, the significance.
And that you don't know, like, those, like, important moments are necessarily important moments when they're happening. You know, the only important, you know, they only seem important when you look back at them.
Which is true in life, right? Like, you don't realize that the life-changing moments are happening as they happen.
Yeah.
You realize after.
And then she kind of realizes how awful their lives have become. Then they're back at that fire scene that starts off the episode, and they realize they need to get to her dad's as soon as possible. And they walk away from the fire looking somber as fuck.
Yeah. And it's sort of like Wild West music that starts playing, and like it has that kind of feeling for me. And like, plus it's quite a bleak scene because, you know, there's the fire, they're both kind of dark, and then like like everything's dead in the field, like everything's been cut for the season, so it's quite a bleak scene.
And then as they are walking, after some time, James asks why she didn't burn the jacket. She made it clear it was her dad's and she will not get rid of it.
But she didn't get any blood on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they are at the train station, and he's looking at the best rates and shit. He's just like, but he's not like that. He's just like, she's standing there, and he's just like staring intensely into the fucking wall, staring at the times, like intensely for.
But I think this is the first time she really, really realizes that something is off about him.
Yeah. And like she also keeps having like the flashbacks, and like all she sees is like a bloody knife in like his hand. Like it's all she can focus on is like that, and like the stabbing and everything. So like she keeps like reflecting back onto that situation, and I think that's also kind of making her crazy, and like she's overthinking everything, but you know.
But then she starts like realizing that they look whatever, like everyone could be watching them and stuff, so she kind of like tugs on him, and she's like, we gotta change how we look. And then it just cuts into this like bathroom scene where James apparently is a very good barber, and her hair's
randomly
bleached, it's perfectly styled and everything.
It's like she's got bangs, and her hair is blonde now.
And then she reflects on how her mom would have been very pleased by this. And again, like reminding you where she's coming from a little bit.
Because her mom always told her she should go blonde.
You know, and etc.
Yep.
And then they need to get new clothes. He reflects on how, all things considered, he looks basically the same after.
Except he's just kind of wearing a Hawaiian shirt now.
Yeah.
And she doesn't recognize herself and says, Jesus is so quiet here. I don't know why I wrote that down, but that's what she says.
But it's good foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Because there is a moment at the end of the episode.
Okay. She leans on the wall then and asked him where he got the knife from, and she asked if it was his. And then we cut to, like, some lady arriving at the author guy's house, the author who has been killed in the previous episode. She comes in like, hello, Clive. And, of course, his name is Clive.
Of course.
Where are you, my man? And
it's his mother, I think.
Yeah, and then she didn't actually say it, but where you at, my man? And then she proceeds to freak out and scream when she finds him.
But you only see like a shot of the outside of the house, and you hear the screaming.
Yeah.
And then cut over to two tough ladies looking over the body. One
is tough.
One's holding two coffees.
And one kind of gives her a coffee, all looking like she wants to smash or something. That's what I took. Like,
I think that's what's happening.
I didn't misread it. And the other, and then she's like, his name is Clive Koch, like Coch, and they like spell it out. And then he was found by his mom, but then I missed this the first time too. Like, you really gotta watch this show, like pay attention, because she's burning all the photos before the police arrived and shit, and that means that all the evidence to make these kids look innocent has just been destroyed.
Yep.
Right. The other thing too, between
but I hope
these two,
that he remembers the names.
What's that?
I hope he remembers the names that are on the pictures.
It's not evident anyway.
Yeah.
I hope they didn't leave the camera there and then she destroyed that too though.
No, he did.
But it's like an awkward.
But these two, because one of them is clearly a detective, the other one is clearly a forensic investigator, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a little moment where the detective tries to hand the forensic investigator a coffee, and she goes,
It's a crime.
It's a crime scene, and you get that sense of cold air that's already happening between them, right? Like there's some sexual tension, like.
Yeah.
More on that later.
And then we see one of them like looking at Buddy as he like one of them's reading the book, the white girl.
Evil Was it?
She's the forensic.
Existential
No,
evil?
she's the detective.
She's the detective, yeah.
So she's reading the book, kind of like killing time or whatever, and then Buddy like slips on the floor, meaning they like really fucking scrubbed and polished that shit proper. And then we cut to the dude who almost banged Alyssa, Topher.
Yep.
The twat.
And he is freaking out about her age, like in a courtroom, like, I checked her ID. She said she was 17.
Not in a courtroom. He's being questioned.
Sorry, you're right. Yeah. Interrogation room is what I meant to say. And then the lady breaks down what happened, and he's so focused on trying to protect himself from the underage chop.
But this guy has no idea someone's been murdered, right?
Yeah,
and then the cop is
no.
like, no one cares if said sex happened or not. We're not here for that. Then she just like slides him the picture of Clive. And then he's like, I have no idea. He then kind of like proceeds to tell her the girl's name is Alyssa. And as she's saying Alyssa, we cut back to Alyssa, and James asks what they should do, and again, classic James.
Because she's just kind of like up against the wall.
And she's like, they should probably eat. And then they're in a diner, and she notices like he notices for the first time that she's being like really weird around him. And then he throws in that the knife is from his dad, like
because she had asked, "Where the fuck did you get the knife?"
And
right?
If you think about it, she had justified why she wouldn't get rid of her jacket because it was her dad's.
Yeah.
And so he was trying to humanize and connect with her, and he just fucking said it was her dad's. And
I'm not sure if this happened before or after this, but there's a moment where she goes, "I can't even look at myself in the mirror."
That's
anymore.
after.
That's after. Okay.
Yeah. Basically, fuck. And then
I like that they're in like a local like mom and pop kind of restaurant. Like it doesn't look like a chain. It looks like something that's made because and I think the first or second episode, she was like support these guys, and like if it's chain, it's free reign. Like take whatever you want from them. So I think it's nice that she like has this value and she sticks to like these kind of like local places.
Yeah.
And then he so he throws in that the knife is from his dad. That's a really good point, actually. Mm-hmm. And then she asks what's it for. He's like hunting, and she's like
it's not like a really big thing that goes on around here.
And then she's like, he notices that she's afraid, and he's commenting. It's like, it's kind of unfair. I'm her protector. Blah blah blah.
Which,
yeah. And then we go back.
I think they're both protecting each other.
And then we go back to the interrogation room, and Buddy describes her as like average looking, and he's saying this to like two women cops, right? Probably. He's just like straight up, like he's with the boys, whatever. And then she's like, "So what? You want to give her a rating?" And he's about to do it. He's about to give her a rating, and she's like, "You fucking kidding me?" Like,
But throughout the episode, like he is being referred to as the twat.
Yeah.
Like this guy is a twat.
And
I think it's probably gonna come back later on too. Like that's just what he's gonna keep being referred to as.
Yeah, he's a bit dumb.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, she's not like a model. She had jeans, a t-shirt, this weird jacket. They're like a weird, cool, but still like shitty. But like because it's shitty, it's cool jacket. Yeah. And then it's brown and it kind of big for her. That jacket she didn't want to burn.
Yep.
And then he remembers that there was another guy, James. Cutting back to James.
Yep.
James decides to put on a calmer and more relaxed demeanor, and she, at this point, realizes there's something stupidly wrong with him because he's got all the condiment packages kind of like lined up in a row as he's trying to then be kind of like cool, calm, and collected, whatever. He asks what's the matter. She's like, "You fucking killed someone," and she can't stop picturing it.
You kind of see like the guy with the beard eating like a table behind them kind of go. Like he kind of heard that, and he kind of like, you don't get much of it later on, but he might come back. It's possible.
Interesting.
And he asked if and then he goes, "Do you want some mustard on chips?" And I'm like, that's gross. And then he's like, "Some people like it." No.
I think he's just trying to like make conversation and he gets nervous.
And then that's it. But she starts laughing. She catches the bait and then catches herself catching the bait. It probably felt like too normal for the moment. And then when that kicked in, it was just not okay.
She kind of
snaps.
Tries to take her hand.
She doesn't want to hold it.
Down.
She decides she's going to the toilet. Cut back over to the detectives and whatnot. And it turns out that the dude's alibi checks out, dude being Topher, and he was at a house party and
with a bunch of other twats.
Yeah.
But it's also important to note that right before they have that conversation, she kind of goes, "Do you want to talk about the other night?" And
but like she kind of like rolls her
right
chair
after
over.
it.
She rolls her chair over.
No, it happens first because she goes, "I don't want to talk about it," and then it's like, "All right, so here's where we're at with the investigation."
But she like rolls her chair over, funnel. Like she tries to do it smooth, but like she like bumps into her and like,
which is classic like beginning flirt move, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And then they put out an APB, but not on the Thug family, but on the specifics of these two teens.
Yeah.
I thought that would be it. Anyway, Alyssa looks in the mirror and is like, my heart can't take this. And heads out the window.
And then the next scene is her kind of leaning against reflective glass. And I really like how they that's another just little payoff, right? You get, I can't look at myself in the mirror anymore, and then you see back to back her reflection just kind of like skewed in the glass. I really like that.
That's cool.
Nice.
And then she walks off, and then we cut back to James, and he only realized after about a half an hour that she had left. And then they're both kind of like walking. This is when the music is about lovers fighting, because, you know, they're fighting and they were lovers, sort of. Then James learns how silence is loud and deafening, and it makes
Which is a callback from earlier when she was like, "Oh my God, it's so quiet."
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then it cuts to him, and he's waiting. It cuts to like his dad, and he's like reflecting on how his dad uses all this noise now to hide the silence. So you kind of empathize more. His dad's not a bad person.
And like he's watching TV, but then like you see like when he's just like thinking after he got like.
You know, he's waiting by the phone. I think that was like kind of how he's dealing with it all. He's trying to laugh and stuff, but really he's just stuck with the overbearing silence of waiting by the phone, waiting for it to ring.
Yeah.
Hit me real in the feels. That guy, that dad, he's a good dude.
He's a good dude, I hope.
Okay, hopefully. Yeah, unless you guys know he's a psycho. And then he kind of then proceeds to feel like James is feeling everything that's happening. Then as this is going on, James walks over to some kids. And he kind of like, he didn't realize that like killing something wouldn't be so easy. And then he goes into the kids and he's like, do you want to hit me? Please, will you beat me up? This guy's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And he like forces his money into this guy's hands. And then they like kick the shit out of him.
They make sure you understand that these kids, even though they look kind of like a young, like,
whatever,
like
they're
not bad dudes. They're like, the first thing they ask is, are you all right?
Yeah.
Do you want it? Do you need help or anything? Yeah.
And then they're like, well.
They kind of cut, while this is happening, they're cutting to Alyssa. She gets to a bus shelter. She kind of like holds her thing out like that. And then James is just kind of lying there and he's like, I was never Alyssa's protector. She was mine.
No, but like he's lying there and like he's all bloody and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I think that what it is that he needed to feel that pain. He was feeling like
punishment.
He needed to feel like something in order to stop feeling again.
Kind of like when he stuck his hand in the deep fryer. Right? He needed to feel pain to feel something.
Yeah.
And then Alyssa falls asleep under the bus shelter, and then James is like, having actually murdered a person, I was certain of one thing. I wasn't actually a psychopath. And as he's thinking this, he's at a phone booth and he puts the quarters in, and then he's like, police, I'd like to report a murder. And that's the end of that one.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the episode ends.
And now I'm kind of wondering if they're going to go in a direction where, like, him and Alyssa are actually ultimately going to end up being the main conflict of the series. Like, she might end up kind of being the bad guy and he might end up kind of being the good guy. Right. But they might still end up being in love with each other. Because that's kind of a thing that happens, right? Like, it happens in it's not new. Like, Romeo and Juliet, West Side Story, talk about Daredevil and Elektra, Batman and Catwoman. it happens all the time in fiction, right? Dexter and Hannah, Dexter and his sister, Dexter and many other women.
Okay.
I look at it like they're gonna have their little like love play out and stuff. I think they're both gonna get caught.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Well, he's about to get caught. He just called the cops.
Yeah, but we don't know that he called the cops and turned himself in. For all we know, it's anonymous and he's gonna run. I think that we're just seeing that for the first time he's embracing his his conscience.
Yeah.
So we know there's another 4 or 5 episodes after this. I can tell you, I'm gonna keep watching.
Yep, me too.
I don't care if you guys don't want us to talk about it anymore. We're still gonna keep watching because it's so fucking good.
You can't tell us what to do.
I highly recommend this show. It might be of the Netflix shows. Let's be real, the Netflix shows kind of hit a bit of a slump. Like they're like pumping them out.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you really go watch all of them, like the first few were like next level, and now they've slumped a bit. This is one that really hits next level to me. This is like has the same spunk and like spark of like. It makes you want to sign up for Netflix to watch it. Like that's how good the show is.
This is like on like the same sort of level, like less dark, but like on the same sort of level as what's that one where she kills herself?
13 Reasons Why.
There you go.
Okay.
I haven't watched that one.
But let's say 13 Reasons Why was a little more of like, let's be real, it was the shock value of the subject matter. And granted, the niche of the show was particularly interesting. This show, as in the end of the fucking world, is across the board one of the nicest and well put together packages I've seen in television in a while in terms of Netflix productions.
I mean, it's cute and it's funny, and at the same time it's dark and it's real. So it balances that out very well. While still being very minimalist and very... And like,
it has its shocking, graphical, violent moments here and there, but for the most part, it's not overbearing. So if you're one of those people who can't handle it, you can... For like the 2 scenes.
I think a lot of like the visuals stem from it being a comic book too. Like the, like they're getting like all that kind of darkness, like all like like those shots that you're seeing that you're like, wow, it's really interesting. Where she's curled up on the bench at the end there, like it's like that kind of shot. Like you can imagine it being drawn out like exactly like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like a cool thing about this show too, is that it's unique in that sense, and it does give you that kind of comic book vibe, but in like a really smart way.
And you can see, once again, Netflix nailing the comic book shows, right?
Yeah, well, they did have a couple misses according to the internet. I haven't seen them all, but I've heard some stories of Iron Fist not being...
Well, it's... Yeah, Iron Fist.
And then I heard... Defenders came out and didn't necessarily live up to hype
Defenders
either.
Is good.
I don't know. I'm a little out of the loop.
I'm going on record saying that.
So on that note, if you guys want to see us talk more about this, we need to get a comment from somebody basically saying, we want to see more. Otherwise, we're going to take it that we should move on to the next first 4 to explore. In which case, some recommendations from y'all would be dope. Otherwise, we'll pick something.
Gonna pick something.
And it won't be MASH.
It might be MASH.
And on that note, feel free to let us know in the comments how you feel about the show, what are your favorite parts. If you're like us and you're only at episode 4, what do you think's coming in the future? And we will catch you whenever the hell this comes out. In the next
See you
one.
in a few days with 11 seasons of MASH.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Been working on that for a year.
Bye.